Hey there. Haven't done this in a while, um, but I've been excited to try the new old Forester Rye that just came out a few weeks ago. It just made it to our area, so I had to pick it up. Just noticed nothing better on the market says good marketing. It's 100 proof, and they tell you the mash bill. It's 65% rye, 20% malted barley, and 15%. So this is just going to be my first impression. Screw top. So yeah, I picked this up tonight for about 30 bucks after tax. A lot of my buddies and people on YouTube seem to enjoy it. On the nose, you get a kind of light rye spice with some sweeter elements to it. Maybe some kind of citrus. That's mostly all I'm getting is kind of like a citrus, uh, orange or lime, and also some vanilla component. You have to excuse me. I just ate some pizza, so that's why I keep drinking the water to try to clear my palate better. It's a delicate nose, and it's at first glance it's almost like a bourbon, but then you go back and you get the kind of like rye components. That's a pretty rich color depth to it, I might add. I guess that has something to do with the barrel program that Old Forester has going. We got one person that joined the stream. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see her chat or not. I'm using my phone right now. Let's see. But if you want to say hi, go for it. since you just joined, um, tasting the Old Forester Rye 100 proof, one of the newest products from Old Forester or Brown Foreman. So initially on the taste, I'm getting like a big vanilla sweetness, kind of reminiscent of a bourbon. There's a pretty spicy element kind of on the back end as well. Oh, hey, Mose, Sean, welcome. So it kind of drinks like a bourbon almost. I know when I was getting nosing it, it revealed itself as a rye pretty well. But drinking it, I get more of like a corn and vanilla sweetness. There's a spice, but I mean, I contribute some of that to just the alcohol in general. On that sip, I just got mostly pure malt sweetness, less spice noticeable. I'm gonna try some water again. Okay, there we go. On that sip, kind of in the front, maybe mid palate, I got like a definite rye, uh, minty kind of uh, sparkly flavor. Well, when I went back in, I didn't notice that at all. So this is probably a bottle that's going to change as it opens up, as most do. But particularly, I noticed a lot of ryes go through some development as the bottle moves down. So maybe I'll give this maybe I'll do a recap like in 3 weeks or 2 months from now if it's changed a lot. I just saw Rob's live stream, the Old Forester Rye. How would you compare it to like a Knob Creek or Sazerac? Getting a little more like a light black pepper on that sip. Um, it's a little bit different than both of those. I would say it might be kind of more in line with the Knob Creek than the Sazerac. I think the Sazerac might be a little sweeter. It has a pretty good oily concentration of like vanilla notes. So that's why I was leaning towards it, maybe more in the Knob Creek direction. But yeah, like it almost drinks like a bourbon, at least right now. Like, I think if I wait a little while, and once this comes down to like here, especially down here, it's gonna taste different. Like if someone handed me this at a party or something, I just took a shot of it or a sip of it. I might not even know it's a rye. Nice. Yeah, I mean it's a good bargain. And it seems like there's a pretty good consensus that it's a good bang for your buck. I mean, $30 is not breaking your bank. I wouldn't say it's definitely worth that. Uh, I kind of I mean I have an affinity for Sazerac rye, but this is different than that. I guess I could go grab some and we could do a little quick taste analysis. So as you can see, I've been drinking this, but there's a little bit left, and it shouldn't be overturned or whatever. Excuse me. Might need to pour a little more in here. Do you get a nuttiness like from Booker's or other bourbons with a high rye mash bill? I think you're talking about in the Old Forester, right? Yeah, I mean, immediately the nose is a lot sweeter on Sazerac, but even with Sazerac, I don't get like the some of the quintessential rye flavors that I like to find, like uh, peppermint or like what's the word, methanol, or like, what I really mean to say is mint. I get sometimes I'll get mint. I got a little bit of that, just a small amount of that in Old Forester, but it wasn't always detectable. Oh wow. Yeah, that kind of stuff. It's like a mixture of like licorice, mint, pickle, or dill. But in these two, I wouldn't say that that's very prominent, at least not in my opinion. Uh, like I said, as this opens up, might show that, but right now I don't get much of that. I think this would be considered a low rye because it's only 65% rye in the mash bill. It's almost like they reversed the bourbon and it has a 15% corn. That's a lot of bourbon mash bills are kind of like in that sort of ratio. Okay, now I'm gonna take a sip of the Sazerac. I mean, I think the Sazerac's like a little sweeter. Um, with some spice. I almost want to say that just in my memory, like the Sazerac kind of comes off a little more like how to describe it. I think the Sazerac's a little sweeter and a little more delicate. The Old Forester, it's also it has a little bit more. It almost seems like it might be more oily compared to legs. Or at least the mouthfeel is a little more oily in the Old Forester. It's probably just coming down to like the mash bill ratios and maybe some of the barreling. This is also only 90 proof, so it's 10% less. I mean, this is a great rye. It just doesn't really have the like. I don't get dill or I don't really get um, mint out of the Sazerac. It's a good sipper. It's good on ice. Good in cocktails. On that sip, I actually did get kind of like a lemon peel or lime rind, but it comes and it's gone. Like as you swallow, you like get that flavor and then it's gone. And I'm not getting it every sip, so predominantly I'm getting like a heavy vanilla kind of like corn, sort of like bourbon characteristic, which is good. I think that might be why some of my friends in the community have said this drink's like an older rye. So I mean, it doesn't really have any like rough edges. Take a little pour. on the finish this time, I definitely got a black pepper note, but it keeps changing. I keep getting different little hints of different flavors that aren't always revealing itself. So that's interesting. I guess that's what I like about rye whiskeys. Try that again. It's good to clear your palate with water occasionally because it sort of like resets your your mouth, and then you kind of can pull out different flavor compounds. Okay. All right, I think that's it. I was tempted to compare it to another favorite of mine, Hudson Manhattan Rye. 46%. Stored in oak for no less than 4 years. I've had a couple of these, and this one, the last one I had was good. I got a little more like appley note out of the last bottle. This one is a little drier. The flavors almost seem a little more concentrated. Well, I wasn't planning to do this, but I'm gonna go ahead and take a little sip of this. I think it deserves its own video, really. Yeah, completely different than these other two. The Hudson, you get a lot of orchard fruit like apples, maybe some pear or something like that. It's almost like a apple honey crisp. I mean, a lot of people hate on the Hudson stuff because I guess they aren't a fan of the bourbon. I don't even know if I've tried that, but these rye they do are worth checking out. I mean, it's kind of expensive. Like it's at a higher price point since they're a smaller distillery, but I think you're gonna find that you get some interesting and sweeter flavors out of the Hudson that you wouldn't find from the majority of the other rye whiskeys. Yeah, like apple cinnamon. I'm gonna taste it again. The taste kind of follows the nose. There's not like a heavy pepper note in this rye. super good. Like I said, that's definitely one of my favorites. I mean, I have some other ones that I talk about, and I enjoy them for other characteristics, but in general, this Hudson Rye is just kind of off in like its own orchard. Like it really is sweeter and has a different dimension that these others just don't seem to take on. Super good. I think it might pair well with a cigar. I'm not really a smoker. I just have a hunch that I think it would complement that. And this one was coming off really dry to me the last few times I've drank it. Today, not so much. But your palate is always slightly different depending on what you ate or what time of day it is or how hydrated you are, etc. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching.